gotta backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. Fast we go, how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give you something you can talk about.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine? Tuesday, February 10th. I think this is my 10th video of the day. My eyes are crossing. My head is spinning. My thoughts are racing. My makeup is running, but you're going to forgive all of those things. I know you will because you love me and because you appreciate all my hard work today. Thank you. Anyway, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on the intro here because we have some things to get done in the next hour and a half, in the next 90 minutes. Because after this video, we're gonna go all together over to the next installment of my organ harvesting video. Yes, we are. So without further ado, I have a list of, I've been calling them line items. Okay, I have a list of line items that we have to get to. The last time we spoke about the Nancy Guthrie case was earlier today on I don't know, how long was that live? It was like 2 hours. On like a 2-hour live. Maybe it was like an hour and a half. I don't actually know. But the last we spoke on it, they had just, Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, had just released some photographs and some videos of a potential subject. Now they're not calling him a suspect, and I don't know why. I mean, this person was armed, but a subject. They're looking for this subject. Okay, so that's the last we spoke. Now, I have spent pretty much the past several hours just watching JLR Investigates. He is there on the scene. Okay, so I have some things to update that I saw with my own eyes. I have some things to update that he claims he heard. I couldn't hear from where I was sitting on my couch, but he, makes some claims. And then we also have some internet theories to get to about this suspect or this subject. Okay, so the first thing here that we're going to talk about is just a little bit of a fan theory. Okay, it's just speculation. This comes from one of my friends, and she posted it on her Twitter. So this is the first, possible suspect we're looking at here. All right, so you see what it is. The suspect right there. Come to find out, it was not blood droplets. It was hot sauce. It wasn't blood, it was hot sauce. I'm serious, hot sauce. I thought this was funny every single time. Anyway, that's obviously a joke, not to make light of this very serious situation, but we're about to talk about some very deep and serious stuff. So I just thought we could break the ice with a moment of levity. Thank you so much to Internet Lejo for the $9.99. For the $9.99 super chat. You working overtime today. Thank you for all this content. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the $9.99. Hot sauce. Hot sauce. I know. I'm stupid. Okay. Thank you, Jax, for being a member for 4 months. Thank you, BJ, for all your hard work. Love from Canada. Shout out to the Canadian cousins. Thank you, Heaven Lee, becoming a new member. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Y'all are laughing. Y'all like my joke. Hot sauce. Okay. Anyway, now let's enough playing around. Okay. Enough joking around. This is serious. Okay, next line item. Okay, yes. So we're going to start off today's episode by I also do have a private text line open for breaking news. So I am going to be checking that periodically just to make sure I'm not missing anything breaking. But the first section that I want to get to is going to be the section about speculation on the suspect. We did just, like I said, got the first videos or subject, first videos, first photographs, and now there is some speculation. The Hillary Clinton thing with the hot sauce, that was just a joke. No one's actually really suspecting that, just to be clear. Okay. So this is just kind of in somewhat of an order, but not really in any particular order. I'm just trying to go by section. So this is one guy. He's speculating. Walter is speculating on the height of the subject. Quick analysis I did on suspect from new footage. Suspect likely 5'10" to 5'11", using standard United States brick dimensions as a fixed reference. That's 2 5/8 inches per brick. including mortar. The arch opening from floor to spring line measures roughly 20 to 22 courses, placing that point at about 4.4 to 4.8 feet high. The shoulders sit just below the spring. So he does his whole analysis here. Okay, 55 inches was the shoulder height. I think I'm 55 inches. No, 60. I don't know how many inches I am, to be honest. That yields most defensible estimate of about 5'10". Now, I've also seen other people using different analyses measure this guy to be around 5'9" to 5'11". So it wasn't the exact same calculations, because I don't think they used the arch and brick heights. I think maybe they did use the arch and brick heights, but this is the second analysis I've seen someone analyze that he is between 5'9" and 5'11". Now, I'm going to say he because the feds have said and stated that it's a he, or excuse me, not the feds. Law enforcement sources talking to the media have said that it is law enforcement sources talking to the media have said that it's a male subject, but I mean, who knows? I don't know. Okay. Next line item. Okay, so I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a precursor, but we're going to circle back around and talk more about this later. But just to let you know, a pizza delivery man about 3-4 hours ago showed up to Nancy Guthrie's house and was able to walk right up to the front door without the deputies out front noticing. And you notice there was more than one. There was plural deputies. Plural deputies were out front. Now what you're going to see right here is a lie. And the cool thing about it is it's provably a lie because the live stream that it happened in is still ongoing and it's public record. But you can see whoever John Chiv is says you left out some relevant facts, such as it was one of your fellow independent reporters and a viewer ordered it. Not true. This is false, and it's provably false. Anyway, we'll get more into that, but it is pretty embarrassing that the Pima County Sheriff has done such a piss poor, pathetic job of securing this crime scene that a freaking delivery driver was able to traipse up to the front door on the most busy day, the busiest day of this entire international story. Multiple deputies didn't even so much as attempt to stop a delivery driver. Anyway, we'll get more into that story later. Okay. Next line item. We're still on the section where they are speculating about the suspect. Okay. And it's this CNN post right here, 3 hours, 48 minutes ago. Holster. Remember how he had a weapon in a holster? Holster seen in new images, not what a frequent pew pew carrier would use, former police captain says. The universal nylon style holster seen in a newly released image or newly released images from outside Nancy Guthrie's home is not the type of holster someone who regularly carries a pew pew would use. This is a former SWAT commander and police captain telling this to CNN. He said, this seems like a very cheap, off-the-shelf holster that somebody just stores their gun in, and it just happens to have a belt loop on the back of it. And they thought, hey, I could throw that on. This guy, this former SWAT guy, he also questioned why the gun was being carried where it was, right there on the front of the junk. I mean, you would put that thing on the side, if anything. I don't really know. Don't ask me. He says, was it out of convenience? Obviously, the intent wasn't to conceal it. So why did he have it hanging there like that? Was it to make sure that it was displayed in order to be threatening when he went into that house? Or maybe to make sure that he got seen with it on the camera? That's what I'm thinking. Or to be quickly accessed when he went into that house, or in case anyone came across him. Just different speculations about why, he would have had that pew pew like that. Now, there are 16 newer posts. We already knew this. Law enforcement in Annie Guthrie's neighborhood. Let's see anything. Uptick in calls. Oh, they're trying to explain this. Remember whenever I put one in the chat, if you remember a few short hours ago when we were in here and I was like, this ain't the same person. That's not the same jacket. That ain't the same mask. Where's the face holes in this mask? This don't look like the same person at all. Where's the backpack? Remember that? Well, now they're explaining it. The FBI shared several videos and photos of a person who approached Nancy Guthrie's home and appeared to tamper with a doorbell camera. But one photo shared by Kash Patel appears to show the masked individual not wearing a backpack or the holster, contrasting other images that do not show the gear. There could be a couple possibilities. Okay, we're only going to get speculation here of why this photo appears to be different. We don't have timestamps to figure out the timeline. It's possible that if this individual was around the home for quite some time and wanted to do some kind of reconnaissance up to the doorway itself, maybe that, I don't know. I'm starting to develop a bunch of new theories too, based on what we've learned, even just in the few short hours since my last live. Obviously, walking up there without a brandished firearm that you could see would certainly be less threatening. The video is helpful in the investigative process, he added, highlighting techniques like pulling up foliage from the yard to cover the camera as an interesting tactic alongside the full body clothing and mask. Technical expertise from Google. Remember whenever Kash Patel said help from our private sector partners? That's Google. Technical expertise from Google helped the FBI to obtain images. Tuesday's breakthrough in the Nancy Guthrie case came in large part thanks to technical expertise provided by Google. A person familiar with the investigation told CNN. Google, which owns Nest, was able to recover data from the Nest-made doorbell camera at the Guthrie's front door. The recovery process took several days and was so technically complex that investigators didn't know whether it could be successful. Nest has not yet commented. FBI Director Kash Patel said the government has been working closely with our private sector partners, remember that, to recover imagery. That was Google. Investigators actually had sent a search warrant to Google for the Nest cameras at the Guthrie residence last week, the source added. Such a move is common in a criminal investigation. But Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos initially said there was no video available because Guthrie had no subscription to Google's video recording service. Well, that's why it's notable that, as Patel put it, some video was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems. So, I am not going to read every single one of their updates over there. Okay, so the holster thing. Okay, so my next line item also deals with the holster. And again, this is just someone's opinion. So this is just someone's opinion online. I don't know. I'm not saying it's my opinion, but I wanted to bring it to your attention, and you can do with this information what you will. Let me actually bring up the picture of the supposed subject so you can refresh your recollection of what it actually looked like, the photos, the images, etc. Okay, so here it is. This is the holster in question. Holster in question. No holster. We just discussed that. Let's see. Holster in question right there. Okay. Just take a look. Take a look. Take a look at me now. Okay. Let's go to the next one. This is the one where he's trying to cover it up with a bush. Okay, let me go to this tweet and then the holster in question right here. And this person is looking down, trying to limp. This is where I think you see the flashlight. See the flashlight coming from the mouth. People were saying they thought that was a grill, like gold or silver teeth or whatever, but it's not. It's a light. It's a light in his mouth or her mouth. Okay. So streets are saying that that's a sticky type holster, sticky brand, MD3. I mean, I don't know. That's what they saying. Y'all can, do the back and forth on that. This is just in the section of, people trying to speculate, trying to add their input on that. So then Brian Enton also, he's on the scene right now. So he's talking to different law enforcement on the scene, probably also off the scene. And he said, the more law enforcement I talk to, the more are telling me the person doesn't look overly sophisticated or professional. The way the pew pew is holstered and not immediately ripping off the camera, cartel, for example, would have been more efficient, they say. Interesting. I mean, that's about as worth as much, ink as you printed on, but it's interesting. Okay, let me get to my next line item. Again, okay, so this is a counter argument to that. This guy's saying, no, this guy was no amateur. He was overly professional. He said, I watched experts comment. They aren't experts. A couple commented on how amateur this guy was with his revolver holster for a semi-auto pistol. The subject is no amateur, this person says, for a multitude of reasons. The rationale for the holster was the high probability that the pew-pew had a silencer on it. Oh, meaning it added 3 or 4 inches to the length of the barrel. That would make you need and require a longer holster. I've said enough. Now, I'm just presenting y'all with the 2 different sides of the argument. But this is that same guy making a similar argument here. The footage wasn't easy. So he's responding to someone saying, why didn't the Pima sheriff get the camera footage day one? He needs to step down. And then this guy said this footage wasn't easy to get. The family didn't have a contract for services, so technically the camera wasn't functional unless you knew the images were still captured on the back end by the company. You wouldn't have wasted your time on a search warrant to get them. Some experts have claimed the suspect was ill-prepared because he had a long barrel revolver holster for a semi-auto handgun, but that's stupidity. It's almost a guarantee there was a silencer on the pew-pew, which added 3 to 4 inches of barrel length. Thus, he needed that long barrel holster. Last point, this person was wearing multiple layers of clothes to hide his body weight. Okay, interesting. These are just 2 different sides of the coin here, 2 different arguments. I don't really know. I don't have enough expertise about pew-pews and things like that because I just don't. But some people are kind of arguing, and these law enforcement sources that Brian Enton is talking to are saying that this guy seemed like such a bumbling buffoon, such an idiot. But others are saying, no, he's maybe trying to pretend to be a bumbling buffoon. He may be trying to act like it, but let's not be so hasty. Okay, and I'm circling back around to, like, is this 2 different people? Somebody else was tweeting, like, yeah, someone else said it looks like 2 different people wearing the same thing. Side-by-side photos. Some think there could be 2 people. Looks like different shoes on the right. They have black spots. Yeah, it does look like 2 different shoes. I wouldn't be surprised to find out this is 2 different people wearing the same outfit. This is very interesting indeed, to say the least. Okay, so now we're going to go to the crime scene. I'm giving y'all an opportunity to leave out of this live if you need to, because they're going to be showing some blood droplets. It's very minimal, but I am warning you that is what we're going to have to look at least momentarily here, because there's something very important being pointed out. Okay, so I'll take it out of the shot just to read this part of the tweet. It says, if you zoom in, oh shoot, sorry, I'm trying to be like as least graphic as possible. Okay. If you zoom in on this, it looks like the flower has fallen on top of the blood droplets. This is Michael Ruiz. He writes for Fox News or something like that. He's a contributor for Fox Digital. He said the brush could have moved, but I have questions. What time exactly did that intruder take the camera down? Okay, so now I'm going to scroll and look up at we're going to look at it now. Look here. I can't zoom it in anymore, but look here. You see how there's a droplet up underneath the leaf right here? Here's also a droplet, which appears to be up underneath a leaf. So taking it off the screen, what does that indicate to you? 1 of 2 things. Could be more, but the 2 things that come to my mind. Number 1, the flowers got dropped into the blood, which means when the subject was putting the flower bush up to the camera, there was already blood there. So it's a setup. Alternatively, the blood did fall. The flowers weren't in the blood, but maybe the wind blew. Maybe someone kicked. Maybe someone disturbed the crime scene. Okay, that's the other option that comes to my mind. I mean, I guess there's other options. A fairy came and I don't know. I guess it still falls into the second option, which is the crime scene has been so disturbed. It's going to be pretty difficult to actually figure out the sequence of events that things happened because it's been so disturbed. Also, it looks to me everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but it looks to me like the prime suspects really are Tommaso, and Annie. That's what it looks like to me. And they just happen to be the last ones to see Nancy alive. And they just happen to be the ones who also traipsed through the crime scene, found Nancy's wallet, found her car, found her whatever cell phone and Apple Watch. So they could have been the ones stomping all through it. But either the blood went down before the flower petals, which would be very bizarre for many reasons and make it impossible that it is what they're trying to make it appear to be. And by there, I mean that whoever the criminals are or the criminal is and responsible for this, or the crime scene has just been so disturbed, you can't know up from down over there. Okay. Abraham said, it's the camera's night vision that's making it appear as though it's two different people because of the shading and lack of color. Abraham, it ain't the night vision camera took the backpack off his back and the gun off his waist too. Abraham, please, let's not get carried away. Please, let's not get carried away. It took off the holster. It took off the holster, the gun holster, the night vision camera, and it took off his backpack too, I guess. I don't know about all that. Let's look. Let's see if it's night vision. The night vision took the gun off the belt. Where's the night vision did that? Where's the backpack? The night vision took that off. Let's be serious. Come on, please. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Okay. Back to what I was doing. So there were, yes, the blood stains. That's an interesting development. It also was disclosed. We may get to the link here because I just was like throwing links in this notes app. We may get to the link, but I did want to also say that they have now released where and how far that blood splatter trail actually did go. Previous to today, we just heard that it was just right up there on the stoop, right? Like right what we just saw in that picture. Come to find out there was a trail and the trail went all the way down the steps into the side of the driveway. So it would appear that the blood droplets did go into a trail of getting into a vehicle and leaving. But I'm starting to develop a theory that maybe Nancy never actually left. I'm starting to develop a theory that maybe Nancy never actually left Annie and Tommaso's. I don't know if, for sure. It's just a theory I'm starting to develop. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next section of the video. And this is going to be the search that's actively going on right now. There's a search actively going on right now. Many different teams of law enforcement are there. The FBI is there. The sheriff is there. I think the police department is also there. The Phoenix FBI. There's a bunch of people there. And they're canvassing not Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. No. They're canvassing Annie and Tommaso's neighborhood. Annie and Tommaso's neighbors. Okay. So one such team that's out there is a team that's been out there, and that is the search and rescue crew from the FBI, these like missing persons types of teams. They were earlier. Okay, so earlier, I'm going to read y'all some of the notes that I got from JLR Investigates. He's out there on the scene and making it happen out there. I would strongly advise y'all go over there and watch him. He's out there and he ain't afraid to chase, chase down the action and all of that. So right now they are inquiring, and this was at 4:10 p.m. Eastern, so it was about 2 hours ago. The authorities were inquiring about land and which land certain neighbors owned around people's houses. That was about 4:18 p.m. Eastern. Then they were searching. You could see the authorities searching the brush all around all around Annie and Tommaso's house. around 4:32 p.m. Eastern. So this isn't local time to them. I was just like keeping the time because of my, like based on my time zone because that's what time it was. I was just like keeping it down. So this is 2 hours later than what it would have been there. So at 2:32 Eastern, the sheriff asked permission to go into someone's backyard. She allowed them to go into the backyard, but also allowed them to come through the house. JLR at this point was whispering. He was like, "What are they doing?" And that was that. That was a really nice touch because there was like 40 something thousand people in that chat, and he was whispering like it was just him and 40,000 of his closest friends. Then at 4:30, around 4:37 p.m., one of the lady cops, I don't know if it was FBI or who, what agency or department she was with, but she did go into an RV appearing to search. And you know what it reminded me of? Put it 2 in the chat if you're old enough to remember when there was that Boston boom boom situation and like they had like a full city-wide manhunt for I don't know how long, and then they ended up finding the guy in a boat, but not in the water, like in a boat in someone's backyard, like under the tarp. So that's like what search and rescue teams do. That search and rescue teams also do diving missions and things like that. So it's interesting they're looking around. I saw them looking into some sewer drains, not sewer drains, water, like water drains. You know how like in subdivisions or neighborhoods sometimes there'll be like ditches and then like driveways between the ditches, and then under the driveway will be like a big pipe. Like they were looking in like those pipes. They didn't have any K9s out there, which kind of confused me. So if anybody has any insight on that, that would be appreciated. But like, I would assume if they're searching for someone's remains, they would be using K9s to be doing like cadaver sniffs, you know, cadaver dogs or whatever. But they didn't have any dogs. Somebody said something about it's because the dogs would get hurt because they got cactuses. I don't know. That seems kind of like fake. I don't know if that's real. Anyway, so they were doing that. They went into someone's RV. She came out a couple of minutes later, and it was reported that there were many separate groups out there, but they're all working together. The blood droplets confirmed. Okay. I'm not going to show the picture, but we can read because we already saw it. No need to get all gratuitous with it. But this was a recent tweet. This came out today since I did my last live. New blood droplets were discovered on the porch of Nancy Guthrie's home, according to law enforcement. The blood trail went from the front entrance of the home to the edge of the driveway, Fox News Digital learned. Authorities have confirmed that the blood belongs to Nancy. Law enforcement has not released details about the extent of any injuries or whether the blood evidence is connected to the masked individual seen in surveillance footage entering Nancy's home. You saw a press photo of a canine. I did not see any canines, but that would make more sense if they had canines there. Thank you so much to Lauren Williams for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My regular old cat knows not to mess with a cactus, and she's kind of dumb, Chance said. I'm sure the trained dog should know the same. I mean, I would think. This is what I'm thinking too, Amber TSW. What is making them think that the body or any she could be out here and hadn't been taken somewhere else? It seems like they might know she's out there. Yeah. They were not searching in the water. No, Meg. Sorry, that was a little ambiguous on my part. Didn't seem to really be water in the ditch. It seemed to be like, in Arizona, it's like a dry climate, but I'm sure, when it does rain, it pours and then the water needs to go somewhere. But it appeared like the ditch and the pipe was dry. I don't know. Maybe they were searching in the water, but like if it would have been like this much water, it didn't appear like it was like water like that. It wasn't like a bayou. It was just a ditch. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just one photo. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was another day. Maybe it was today. I just saw from one person's camera, like one person's live stream. So it could have been. Okay. So I should have, it's hard to organize these notes. I have like 40 line items, so it's hard to keep everything in order. But we're circling back around to some speculation on the subject. Okay. So there is a wild internet theory out here that the subject could I'm not saying it's my theory, by the way. I'm just reporting all the different things that I found to be interesting. And I have seen for days people trying to allege that one of the suspects or the subjects should be this guy named Dominic Evans. And who is Dominic Evans, you might be asking? Well, you know, Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law, Tommaso, Annie's husband. This Tommaso guy is in a band or has been in a band. I don't know if he's still in the band. Early Black, Every Black, something, something, something. It's like a rock and roll band, rock, I don't know, metal. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't listen to the music, but he's in a band, whatever, good for him. So there's this bandmate, and people have been trying to pin this thing on him for days, and I haven't reported on it, as you've seen, because I'm like, what makes y'all think that? And maybe they had good reason. I didn't see the reason at that point yet or whatever. And I'm not saying this is my theory, but now since the picture of a subject has been released by the FBI, people are really jumping on this Dominic Evans theory. So people are saying they think it's this guy, okay? Some people. I'm not saying I think it's him. I've seen like how many. Yeah, it has 154,000 views on this tweet alone, okay? This is Dominic Aaron Lee Evans, a close buddy and ex-bandmate of Tommaso, ex-bandmate, who's the son-in-law, okay, based in Tucson, so he's from Tucson. Dominic is a local artist who helped kick off the indie post-punk group Early Black in 2007, where he handled drums. Tommaso covered bass and singing, and Walter Concalves Jr. took guitar and vocals. They kept things going for quite a while, and from what I've gathered, Dominic and Tommaso are still good friends or on good terms. Looking at official documents from Pima County in Tucson, which are public records, Dominic has a record that includes charges related to serious theft like breaking and entering, armed theft, misappropriation of funds, and driving under the influence. Fast forward to these recent images from the Nest camera capturing a disguised figure breaking in. And a lot of folks are pointing out how much it looks like Dominic, especially the eyes, brows, and beard. Add in his tight bond with the family member who might know the ins and outs of the property. Could he be the suspect or the subject? So this is a recolorized version of the picture. So, you know, this would be AI enhanced, so I would just be aware of that. But this is the friend. Now, I will say it is very compelling, and I even retweeted it, not this tweet, but another one, because it is very compelling. However, if you look at this picture, a more recent picture, you know, he does appear to have shaved his mustache, which obviously anyone can grow their mustache back fairly quickly, but he doesn't appear to actually have black facial hair anymore. It seems like he's gone gray. This maybe appears to be an earlier picture of him. And he does appear to have like actually gray beard now. So it did appear in the subject's videos and photos, like he still had that black facial hair. And then, you know, of course, hair dye exists and things like that. But I just want to cover all angles. Here's another photo. And again, like this picture right here, absolutely, that's dead ringer. But this picture right here, I mean, he's gone gray. I will say it's still compelling. It is still compelling, but I did want to just cover all the bases. It does appear that the suspect is much younger. Now, what if it's his son? Does he have a son? We need to check on that. No, I'm just kidding. But it does look like him as a young man. I just feel like it's not really giving that anymore. Anyway, I wanted to show that to y'all. And then somebody put a ski mask on top the man's actual picture. Oh, girl, they put a ski mask on him. Like, this is like actually this picture. And they just edited a ski mask. I thought that was so funny. I think I'm just delirious for working 12 hours today. This is a AI enhanced Ring doorbell camera. But see, like he's still got the black. Like if this was him years and years ago, maybe, but he don't look like that anymore. He looks different and gray. But yeah, no, it's funny they put. Why did they do that? I thought that's what they were called. The ski masks. Somebody told me what they were called in my last live and I already forgot. Okay, what's my next line item? Okay, so I wanted to show y'all the ski mask. Wow. Okay, Steve Fisher Steve freaking Fisher coming through again with a banger. Okay. I don't even care what you say about Steve Fisher. He comes through with info don't nobody else come through with. Look at this. Let me go back one. Hold on. First of all, oh my God, what the hell? Hold on. Okay. It sure appears like two. Why is it doing that? Okay. Did we read this one? Yes. It's two of them. It sure appears like two different guys in the surveillance to me. And why did an investigator, this part right here, hold on to your britches, everybody. We got some breaking news I haven't seen anybody else mentioning coming from Steve Fisher 47 minutes ago. Nobody mentioned this. They mentioned blood droplets and not this. This is huge if true. He said it sure appears like two different guys in the surveillance to me. And why did an investigator from Adult Protective Services leave a card on the door before the crime happened? Their website says they're responsible for investigating allegations of abuse, exploitation, and neglect of vulnerable adults. Was Nancy in a conservatorship? Alternatively, were they trying to put her in one? There's been a lot of speculation going on around about, did she have a will? Was there a battle over an inheritance? This, that, the other. There's been a lot of speculation going on about the local authorities being resistant to work with the federal authorities, icing them out. What would the local authorities have to hide? Why wouldn't they welcome with open arms the feds with all their being able to get into the Nest camera footage through subpoenas from Google, etc.? Why? Adult Protective Services had left a card on the door. Hold on. Because last I checked, Nancy Guthrie was reported missing within hours from the last time she was seen. She was reported missing like maybe 12 hours after the last time she was seen. Just very soon. It wasn't even a full day. So definitely not long enough time for an Adult Protective Service person to come over there. I mean, what the Adult Protective Service going to come in the middle of the night? No. If you're leaving a card on someone's door, it's because they're not at their freaking house. Whoa, where was Nancy when the Adult Protective Services? Where was Nancy when Adult Protective Services came to put a card on her door? When did this card get put on her? This is huge. When did this card get put on her door? She wasn't home, or at least she didn't answer the door. Maybe she was scared they were going to come put her in a guardianship. If the Adult Protective Services is ever knocking on my door, I ain't answering, because that's how we care a lot happens. Okay. But it starts to make you wonder this exact question, Chance. How long was this lady actually missing? And remember, who was the last person to claim to have seen her alive? On February 1st, January 31st. Now, remember, Nancy's birthday was at the very end of January like 27th or so. And I think the last post on her personal Facebook page was January 27th. So how long was Nancy actually not seen? I got a question. When did this get put on her door? That's what I'm wondering. Now he does post about it again 20 minutes ago. He said this is a card from an investigator from Adult Protective Services that was left on Nancy's front door. It's safe to say this was left before the crime. That's what I'm thinking, Steve. Because this picture was taken in the first day or two. And Adult Protective Services would not visit while there was a crime scene and the person was still missing. Right. Why would they walk up through the crime scene and put a thing on the door? No, they probably would have found out by then. Although the delivery driver today didn't. We'll get to that in a moment. There would be no reason to do a door knock if they know the person is missing. Just one more plot twist in a super confusing case. These records are sealed, but it would be very interesting to see What triggered this visit? And combine this with what we read in the article earlier today. That article that guy wrote about the whole Guthrie family and their coal fortune. Savannah don't live in Arizona. She's a church congregant in New York. She's on the Today Show. Charles Cameron, the brother, don't live in Arizona. He lives in Vermont. The only one that lives near that mama is Annie and Tommaso, her husband Tommaso. So if Nancy were to need somebody to take care of her who is in her family, the most obvious person would be her daughter who lives nearby. And I saw JLR Investigates today get in a car and drive from Nancy's house to, Nancy's house to Annie's house. It was less than 10 minutes. It was less than 10-minute drive. I saw him do it live. So she lives like down the road. And when did this card get left on the door? Because now I'm wondering, when was the actual last time she was actually seen? And when you put all that together with the question, why is it that the police and the feds and the sheriff and the everybody, the search and the rescue, is canvassing and searching Annie's neighborhood right now, if it is the case that Nancy was taken and abducted from her home? Hello? You think it was placed after the crime? That makes no sense to me. I don't think so. Okay, moving on to my next line item. I think it was before. That's my personal opinion. Okay, business was for security footage. Hold on. So I wanted to show y'all this one. This is another tweet from another journalist out there on the scene. He said about 3 hours ago, I was around the corner from Annie Guthrie's house on the main road earlier today. I just so happened to see a group of investigators walk into a business. Now, he doesn't tell us which business it was, but he's claiming he was there on the scene. He looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. He said, I went inside to lurk, and they were asking an employee for a copy of surveillance video from an outdoor camera between January 31st, 9:30 p.m., and February 1st, 11:30 a.m. Today, as in somebody said 10 days after the fact? What is this, amateur hour? How come the cops didn't do this? And it's being done now by the FBI 10 days later. Good old-fashioned shoe leather work. Seriously? Today they're asking for this? Can this investigation be any worse? Why didn't they wait till next week or the week after? 10 days later? Really? That should have been day one. People are none too pleased. This is a great question, and this is kind of where I am with it. Stacy, has anyone looked at any possible video footage at Annie's house to prove the mother was ever even there? I don't know. The pacemaker connected to the house, the garage door open, but does that mean Nancy was there? Does the pacemaker have a GPS on it, or did the pacemaker just hook up to the phone and the phone was about to die? I don't know. Everything seems so fishy. Annie just moved to that house, in May last year, not even a year ago, from a house that was half the value, according to the county records. Did Annie take a conservatorship over her mama? I'm just wondering. Okay, let me go to the next thing here on my line items. This is interesting. This is a little less breaking, but still very interesting. This is back from 2024. October 15, 2024, a warning alert about break-ins occurring in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood was issued by the Catalina Foothills Association, October. Not last year, this is 2024. We have received reports recently of break-ins in the Catalina Foothills area. Are you looking for ways to keep your home safe? Pima Sheriff's Department can help with vacation checks while you're away. They can also assist you and your neighbors with setting up a neighborhood watch. Yeah, some good that does. They can have 2 deputies on your freaking front porch and be trying to call it a crime scene. And then a pizza delivery can just be allowed to just walk right up. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Oh my, all kinds of things are happening. Um, TMZ reporting 40 minutes ago that authorities believe the person or persons who abducted Nancy are from her home. From her home or from the Tucson area. Yeah, they already said that. TMZ already said that. Okay, I want to go to the Pima County Sheriff. So, just so y'all know, JLR investigates. He's got, at any given time, between 20 to 60,000 people from around the world watching live as he goes scene to scene, in person, on the ground. Brian Enton could never, and he is not doing this. Shout out to Brian Enton because he is doing, I could never, ever even do what Brian Enton does. But my point is, JLR Investigates is out there by himself in a hoodie and a pair of basketball shorts from dawn till dusk. And he is doing the work for the people. I don't care if you don't like him. You know, you was in that stream. Okay. He is doing work. And so to show him some appreciation, of course, people are showering him with super chats and gifts, and people are sending him stuff. People are bringing him water, and it's nice to see because he's doing a service for us. He's doing, like, a lot of times in this YouTube age, people have this thing in their mind where it's like, because it's a YouTuber or an independent content creator and it's not NBC, that somehow they're doing it for a grift or doing it for a money grab. What in the hell do you think NBC is doing? You think they're doing that's a charity? Y'all think it's a philanthropy? Do you think NBC, CNN, and TMZ are 501c3s? Because they're not. Okay. So I would much rather like some guy out there with a hoodie who's willing to ask the questions, who's willing to tell the FBI agent her pants zipper is down, who's willing to warn him. Y'all, there was a wild hog running around earlier. I don't think they call him that over there. They call it Mariana, Harriana. What do y'all call them things? He works hard. And you know what? I'm not going to say old man. He's probably only 10, 15 years older than me, but like, I'm tired. I feel the years creeping up on me. Okay. It is hard for me to sit in this office for, 8 hours on a stream. And he is out there in the blazing hot Arizona freaking sun, blazing hot. Okay. For us, the phone is overheating. He's going to get a battery pack. Yeah. He's getting coins. But he's doing work for us, because you know who's not giving us any of these answers in any of these live streams? The people who we pay for transparency, the people whose our tax dollars go to pay their paychecks. They're not doing it. So I'm thankful. I'm actually glad somebody's out there doing it. And you know what? Maybe every now and again, he gets a little hungry. He might want to take a little bite to eat. People have been sending him stuff. He hasn't asked for it. He doesn't ask for it. He has his little snacks in the car and he goes off camera and he eats for the 20 minutes or whatever he comes back. But people, unbeknownst to him, just have been sending him stuff. Donuts, coffee. And today somebody sent him a pizza. Well, they sent it to the address of the house, which, if you think about it, if you're going to order a pizza to someone out there, where would you wouldn't send it to the neighbor's house? You would send it to that house because you would assume, as any reasonable person would, of course, there's going to be cops, there's going to be sheriffs, someone's going to notice, and they're not going to walk right up to the door and traipse through the blood splatter. Any reasonable person would think that, except the people whose job it is to keep the crime scene locked down. So, here's what watch them have deleted it. No, they didn't. They left this crazy shit up. Okay, look how crazy they are. Look how absolutely batshit insane these people are. They said, we can't, this is the sheriff's department, by the way. And let me just go back on their page a couple days and let's see if they've given any updates in the past few days. Okay. No. Okay. 7th. So this is 3 days ago. We do not have any updates. Okay. The next day, we do not have any updates. Okay. The next day, road closure. Okay. We're going to actually now a week into this missing persons investigation now with no new updates, but we are going to let you know now, all of a sudden a weekend. They got flowers in the blood splatter and everything else. God forbid they keep up some crime scene tape. Now, hey, just so you know, the sheriffs are going to maintain a presence at Nancy Guthrie's residence for security. Media and the public are reminded to follow traffic and private property laws. No trespassing is allowed on the Guthrie property. Violations are subject to enforcement. Okay, cool. So there, it's settled. They're going to be protecting the property. Got it. But do they have any updates? No. Just more telling us what to do. Got it. February 9th, the next day. No updates. There's no press briefing scheduled today. We'll let you know if we want to. Then yesterday or earlier, yesterday again. Hey, just let you know, we haven't identified any suspects. Okay, so they ain't doing jack shit except telling us they ain't doing shit. Okay, fine, no problem. No problem. Moving on. Now they retweeted the FBI today. That's, helpful, I guess. And again, 5 hours ago, they don't have shit to say to us other than to tell us what the hell to do and to be snarky. No press briefings. That's 5 hours ago. Sheriff is not doing one-on-one interviews, but if a press conference is scheduled, we'll notify the media. They retweet the FBI again. They come out here and tell you what to do again. Don't call 911, call this, that. Okay, look what they said 2 hours ago. Got their panties all in a wad. We can't believe we have to say this. But media on scene, please do not order food delivery to a crime scene address. This interferes with an active investigation. Y'all just started guarding this crime scene 2 days ago, over a week into the investigation. People were traipsing and trampling through the thing. There was no cops on scene, no sheriffs on scene, and now they want to start finger wagging? Hey. This interferes with an active investigation. Please also respect private property laws. Thank you. Oh, girl, I snapped. I said, we can't believe we have to say this. But Pima Sheriff, you are responsible for securing the crime scene and not allowing Domino's delivery drivers to walk through it on your paid watch. People can order food. They're doing a very important job for the people, unlike, apparently, you. Y'all, I don't think they got a single positive comment. Block off that front doorway, somebody said, because the public is going to deliver flowers and everything else. Maybe even make a delivery drop-off area, perhaps. Anyone can deliver using an app. Not everyone is on X reading your tweets. Somebody said, you guys continue to embarrass yourselves on a national stage. The media didn't order delivery food to the Guthrie home. A fan of an independent journalist at the scene ordered it as a thank you. Dumb? Maybe, but get your info correct before coming at people with a press release. Yesterday, Jake Tapper, maybe it was today, walked onto Nancy Guthrie's property and the sheriff deputy came and told him to leave. Somebody said, or your deputies could just pay attention. Somebody said, you're making yourself look even worse. Someone said, not only did the pizza delivery guy park in front of the driveway. Oh my God. Someone said, call me crazy, but usually crime scenes have crime scene tape. Not only did the pizza delivery guy park right in front of Nancy's driveway, but the sheriff was literally parked right in front of him. The delivery man got out of his car, got his bag of pizza, and walked casually up the driveway to the front door and stood there for a good 5 minutes before walking back to his car. The sheriff, posted there, only got out of his car when all the press started gathering around him asking questions. The sheriff didn't seem to care at all. Someone said, "Thanks for sharing this critical info. If you had tape up, this wouldn't have happened. You idiots didn't even notice the pizza delivery guy walking straight up to the house." LMFAO. Can't believe this has to be said. Do y'all use this stuff? And it's crime scene tape. Granny said it wasn't ordered by anyone on the scene. A viewer sent it. Someone else ordered it for a podcaster. She wasn't even in the same state. However, let's talk about your Keystone cops who didn't immediately stop the unsuspecting delivery driver. Why don't you start having press conferences and stop going to basketball games? Somebody said, "Well, I can't believe the way this event was handled." Somebody said, "Why isn't the crime scene preserved and secured? Is there a crime scene tape around the perimeter? Is it clear that a crime occurred there so people don't disrupt it? That's all on you. Pretty sure you have more important things to be worrying about, like how to screw up a missing persons case." Someone said, "Only if you knew someone who could secure the crime scene." This whole investigation has turned into a big effing joke. They're going to write books about your incompetence. That wasn't the reporter. It was someone in their live feed from Oregon. Oh my God. And it goes and it goes and it goes. So I want to show y'all the ones that I thought were so funny, and I retweeted them. "We can't believe we have to say this, but don't order food." Okay, this is one. So I retweeted it. I was so aggravated. Breaking. Pima County Sheriff falsely accuses, quote, media of, quote, ordering food delivery to a crime scene to deflect from their utter incompetence of allowing a pizza guy to traipse right up to Nancy Guthrie's door. They have not secured this crime scene appropriately from day one. Someone said, "If you're so bad at your job that a DoorDash guy can walk up to an active investigation, maybe don't be in charge of the investigation." Someone said, "We can't believe we have to say this, but the sheriff outside that is supposed to be securing the scene should have stopped the delivery driver. Maybe tell them to get off TikTok and pay attention to the crime scene." Someone said, "FYI, it wasn't the media rep who ordered the Domino's pizza. It was a person watching the media rep's YouTube channel who ordered him a pizza all the way from the state of Oregon just to be kind. Also, it may help to put up a crime scene tape. I mean, just a suggestion." Somebody said, "You're releasing statements about the pizza delivery, but no press releases of any updates about this crime." Somebody said, "Tell your officers to pay attention. The food was sent from Oregon. A viewer was feeding the crew. The crime scene is not protected. There's no tape up. How would the driver have even known? How's he supposed to be sure where he's even going?" This is one of my favorite ones. He said, Matthew Keys, "It isn't uncommon for reporters who, believe it or not, have to eat food to live to order delivery at broadcast locations. What is uncommon is that law enforcement doesn't do enough of its job to secure the scene of a suspected crime. So maybe that's the problem." This is a picture from the search earlier. I'm going to have to talk about Britney selling her entire catalog. It has Lou Taylor written all over it. And then I'm tweeting different things. I do think one of the most troubling things that I found out since my last live is that there was that Adult Protective Services card. That changes everything. That changes everything for me, in my opinion. Yeah. So the Pima County Sheriff is completely deflecting any responsibility off of like literally their one job, because nobody's even like forcing them to do a press release, to do a press conference. I mean, we would love one. I'm sure they have things to say. I'm sure they have things to add, but no, they don't want to tell us anything. Except they want to log on Twitter and bitch at we the people for feeding the very few Americans who are actually giving us some updates on this case. They want to get online and bitch and make those heroes seem like villains, all the while they're the ones in dereliction of their duty and their sworn promise to protect and serve. That's what we're dealing with over there in Pima County. And guess what else? This was posted yesterday, an abduction alert. Somebody said Pima County abduction. This was yesterday. Tucson Police Dispatch, Pima County, Arizona. Oro Valley Police and Pima County Sheriff, active event, abduction. So they just abducted, hide your kids, hide your wife. They abducting out here in Pima County. And God forbid anybody try to report on it and make sure that we're holding these shady ass law enforcement officers accountable, because if they even so much as need to take a bite of food that they didn't even freaking order, I don't even know if JLR Investigates even took a bite of that damn pizza. It was like a viewer sent it to him. He didn't order that. And from what I understand, he didn't ask for it either. I'm very sensitive to this because I've been in situations before where people tried to blame me for like truly, actually unhinged and insane stuff that other people did. They tried to blame me for it, and I had nothing to do with it. And I actually told those people, don't do it. I actually did everything I possibly could because I actively told them, don't do it. And they did it anyway. And then people tried to blame me for it. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And then now we have the Pima County Sheriff, who the whole eyes of the whole world are on, trying to make it seem like JLR Investigates, who's out there with a freaking iPhone and a dream, acts like he even ordered that damn pizza in the first place. I can't believe I have to say this, but why isn't the freaking sheriff doing its damn job? Punk. How about? That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. The FBI don't hand out them cards. The FBI wasn't handing them cards out. That was Adult Protective Services. They deemed it no longer a crime scene after a couple hours that day. They have no right to be mad at anyone coming on the scene when they allowed it to be wide open for days. It was just ridiculous. Thank you, Nikki, for being a member for 8 months. Thanks for all the coverage, not only this case, but every case you cover. We love all. Oh, yes. Shout out to the Scottish cousins. Love the Scottish cousins. Hide your grandmas. Hide your grandmas. The lady that put the card on the door was wearing it. Yes, the FBI is also putting cards on the door. That is normal. But they're not putting Adult Protective Services cards on the door. They're putting their FBI like business cards on the door, because if people don't answer, they'll leave a card. Now, what were the things that they were asking? I did write it down. Let's see. Hold on, I didn't do they were asking about cameras, and at one point they were asking for, it seemed like they were asking for any camera footage from one neighbor since January 29th. So I don't know if we can really take anything from that, if that really means anything. I don't really know what that means, if anything, but they were asking one neighbor for for like ring camera, whatever, surveillance camera footage from their house from the date of January 29th to February 1st. So I don't know if maybe the cops are trying to get footage of stuff that happened maybe before, things like that. Was there even an update about the body found? Okay, let me see now what else is going on here. Any live breaking news updates? Okay, we have some New York Times live breaking news updates. This is bringing me back to the Diddy days. Put a 3 in the chat if you remember the Diddy days. Oh, wait, I do have a New York Times account. Hold on. No, I don't want to do no all access. You out of your mind? Okay. Okay, this is 7 hours ago, so I guess, oh, it's not. I'm just trying to get my hands around okay, so these are supposedly live updates. There's the house right there. It looks like such a compound here, like crazy. Okay, 7 hours ago. 7 hours ago. Golly, I can't believe this was the same day as today. This is insane. Pima County Sheriff's Department has said that concern about Nancy Guthrie was initially sparked. This is another issue I have. The story is not adding up and they keep giving us different stories. The Pima County Sheriff's Department has said that concern about Nancy was initially sparked when she failed to show up for church. But the spokeswoman is now clarifying that it was actually a friend's house, not church. Nancy Guthrie and the friend had planned to watch a live stream of a church service together. When she didn't show, the friend contacted Guthrie's family members, which ones, I don't know, who went to her home and then called 911 when they couldn't find her. Isn't that interesting? 6 hours ago, a masked person came to Guthrie's doorstep before her abduction. 5 hours ago, Savannah shared it. 1 hour ago, the Pima County Sheriff's Department asked people not to order food to the address of Nancy Guthrie's house. God forbid they need a little bite to eat while they're holding our government accountable. God forbid they need a snack. The driver, who did not know the address was Guthrie's, took the pizza to the front door. Cookies were also delivered. Please do not order food delivery to the crime address. This interferes with an active investigation. Well, God forbid the police do their job and keep somebody from walking on the front door. I don't like that Sonia A. Rao is LARPing and narking and cucking so hard for the government. It's very aggravating. Very, very aggravating to see this like butt kissing type of behavior, brown nosing from the journalists, right? Like Sonia is like, no, it's fine. Let me just starve to death. All journalists should just starve to death because God forbid the sheriff do their job. I mean, that's how I'm reading this. I'm not reading that whole thing. That's too long. Why the Guthrie doorbell footage took so long, I don't really care about that either. Okay, let me go to the other NBC. Y'all putting threes in the chat? Let me see. Yeah, okay. You remember those? The Details Queens. That was Washington Post. That was Washington Post. They were detail queens. Okay, let's go. NBC News seems to be slowing down a little bit. 2 hours. Okay, they went on break. All right, let's go back to CNN has live updates. Oh my God, they got somebody's pawpaw out here looking a mess. Lorenzo, neighbor of Annie, says law enforcement asked to inspect outside his property. Neighbor of Nancy Guthrie, daughter, Annie. So this is Annie's neighbor, right? This is okay. Again, this is very interesting. They're all out and about around outside Annie and Tommaso's neighborhood, not Nancy's neighborhood. This is not Nancy's neighborhood. And she was supposedly abducted from her home in her neighborhood. I know they got somebody's pawpaw out here. Poor thing. Anyway, Lorenzo, a neighbor of Annie and Tommaso, said law enforcement came by today and asked to look around the outside of his property. He lives behind Annie's property, which he said he didn't know was hers until recently. The only other time law enforcement came to visit his home was like 5 or 6 days ago when the FBI agents were canvassing the neighborhood and asked if he had heard anything. So again, where was the sheriff? He has time to get on freaking Twitter and tweet about a pizza delivery. He has time to get on Twitter to try to distract from his department's incompetence, to bitch like a little baby about a pizza delivery, when he didn't have time to get out in this neighborhood and ask anybody a damn question. There's a lady missing from your freaking jurisdiction, buddy. You're in charge here. You got time to go to a basketball game. Now, some of y'all were saying, what's he supposed to do? He can't go to a basketball game. Sure he can. But can he go ask any neighbor a question real quick first in the last 2 weeks? No. He can't go ask Jensen nothing. Lorenzo Jensen, the FBI got to do it 2 times while they're also not working with the FBI, not cooperating according to reports. Law enforcement in their neighborhood. Okay, we already saw that. I guess they don't really have that many updates here like that. Okay, let me go to JLR Investigates Twitter. Maybe we can even watch a little of his live stream. Suspect. Wait, hold on. Someone's tweeting. What the hell? Hold on. I don't know. Okay, look, this is just on Twitter. Take with grain of salt, but this looks like something developing here. This guy, Nerdy Esquire, has been following this story. As you can see, I'm scrolling back just so y'all can see that he has been tweeting about Nancy. What's more puzzling than Nancy Guthrie mystery is how there's cameras everywhere full time on her street, but no live feeds when something major unfolds. Great point. Police going door to door. This was 2 hours ago. Police going door to door in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood after footage from her Nest camera was released, and after a social media user claims they submitted a tip to the FBI about a violent offender with prior kidnapping charges in the same neighborhood. 2 hours ago, law enforcement is also searching the brush while going door to door in Annie's neighborhood. Annie, again, this is not Nancy. This is not the missing lady Nancy's neighborhood. This is her daughter, Annie. Nancy's family would have known about the front camera, but the person of interest appeared surprised by the camera, doubling back, turning on a flashlight with his mouth while looking down, and then picking up flowers or plants to cover the camera. He said deputies 2 hours ago and federal agents are canvassing, there's a video of it right here, the neighborhood around Annie Guthrie's home, knocking on doors and speaking with residents. According to NBC an hour ago, the Guthrie family said the individual captured in the surveillance photos is not someone they recognize. 1 hour ago, he said 2 SWAT armored vehicles have just left the Pima County Sheriff's parking lot, though it is unclear whether the movement is connected to the investigation into Nancy. He tweets again, as a guy with a little bit of flashlight flavored autism, I present this for those who are unaware that not all flashlights are mag lights. Yes, I think he had a flashlight in his mouth, 100%. Shout out to the flashlight flavored autistics. Aside from this is an hour ago. Aside from SWAT vehicles heading out, a medical chopper also took off around the same time, but it's unclear what it's related to. See, shows the medical chopper, FBI knocking on doors. Okay, so I just wanted to show y'all, he's been tweeting about Nancy for hours. 2 SWAT armored vehicles left the Pima County Sheriff's parking lot with deputies loading tactical gear, marking the first movement of those vehicles in 9 days, though it's unclear if this is connected to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. An hour ago, he said again, 2 SWAT armored units rolled out of the Pima County Sheriff's lot a short time ago, splitting off in opposite directions. Reportedly, the movement is tied to the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie. Pima County Sheriff radio traffic indicates the subject has a revolver and an AK. The suspect has 2 shotguns, a revolver, and an AK, according to police traffic. Dude, tweet something else. You're going to leave us with that? Ha! Oh my God. Say something else. It appears. Okay, well, what? Okay. Let's go to JLR. Now, I do have a video premiering on BJ Investigates in about 15 minutes. We're going to have to go over there and watch that. If anything really insane happens, I'm going to have to come back live again later tonight. JLR Investigates has 57,000 people in there. Let's see what's going on. If he's still live over there or what. Oh my God, look. That's the FBI lady. See her back of her shirt. Arizona, FBI Arizona. I don't know if this one's FBI. We need a lip reader. This is JLR Investigates. See what I mean? Live stream. So someone sent this guy a pizza. He's been reporting live. This is a live stream. Who else is doing this? Is Fox News live streaming this right now? Is CNN live streaming this? Is Ashley Banfield thirsty ass, avian looking ass live streaming? Is she out here on the streets in the hot blazing Arizona sun showing us exactly what our public servants are doing? No, it's JLR. So someone wanted to send him a little lunch and he's getting fussed at by the freaking useless sheriff. Okay, let's listen to what he says. They're taking pictures of license plates. They're writing down license plates and license plates.
Going through the
back. You see how fascinating this is? This is like real work. This is real news.
I'm sorry.
Look, he's showing us exactly what they're doing right now. We don't have to take anyone's word for it. We can just see.
All right, we'll wait out here for the FBI.
We'll wait out here for the FBI, and that's what he does. And he goes to the next house.
Come around.
And he's been saying what things.
Sun is going down soon. Sun goes down 45 minutes. They might be out here through the dark.
They'll probably call it a day when it gets dark. He's been doing this all day. Look, the stream's been going on over 10 hours. Over 10 hours. This is like, he was here. And then at some point they got word that they needed to go to Nancy's. Let me see if I can find them driving. That was the funniest thing. And it was really cool. Hold on. He's got water. He's offering people water. It was really cool to see the drive. Because you get a sense. He passed by the Chevron. He passed by that Circle K. You kind of could see how it was on a path. Let me see if I can find that. And he started rushing. It was so funny. It was cool. It was like live action.
But it could also be a possibility. I'd rather err on being wrong and look silly than not sharing every possible way.
True.
You're just going to car and handing these things to people. You want
they were handing
talk?
Flyers out.
You don't want to be on camera.
I can be off camera.
Okay.
Yes, and plus that now they're asking.
I just want to
broader.
I want to see the drive.
It could be. Yeah.
Thank you much. Back left. All right, I'm gonna grab my phone.
Okay, they're about to do the drive. This is the drive. He's at Nancy's right now, and he's about to drive to Annie's, and you can see the drive.
All right.
He's buckling up. I heard the buckling. I heard another click. Buckle up for safety. I'm just trying to get to the drive. I don't think he's driving. It seems like there's like 3 or 4 of them in the same car because like all the media goes and then there's nowhere to park and then they're getting trespassed.
Hold on.
See,
One
everyone's
second,
going.
I don't have her address. Actually, someone sent it to me, but it was
I got it. Okay. I'm not getting you.
Okay, here they go.
in the bars.
Yeah. All right. JLR investigates with 857 Tucson. We are, I have to go backwards.
Let me speed it up.
I got it.
I'm gonna do 1.25.
All right.
His camera does get a little blurry here and there. I think it's just the service. I am going 1.25 times the speed, so he's not actually driving like this fast. It's sped up.
I don't know if that's coming up clear.
Yeah, as soon as we get out of this area,
They're saying that the service is bad in this area. So it'll clear up. Don't worry.
Speed bumps. There's another thing around here. The speed bumps.
They got speed bumps.
Annie's home. Law enforcement is there, according to Fox News.
At Annie's home. That's why they're going. They got a tip that Annie was there, and here they go. Or that the cops were at Annie's. Annie's not there.
Come on, car. In that moment when you want to go, there's a car in front of you that goes pretty slow.
yeah, normally.
You ever get into that situation where you gotta get somewhere and like, come on, car? Well,
Yeah, we've all been in that situation.
Tucson, we get a lot of snowbirds right now.
Then you'll turn right onto Camino Cresta.
We're 9 minutes out, so it's not far.
Let's turn it on HD just so y'all can know for sure. Like it's just the service, but it clears up.
I don't want to speak to the neighborhood. Dude, this box is gonna be full when we get there, probably.
He's like, the spots are all going to be full.
Camino Cresta.
If you're just tuning in, we are watching, albeit they are in an area where the service is not great. This is hours ago now at this point, but this is one of the independent investigators or independent reporters on the
Maybe at
scene.
Amy's house.
Stop sign. Turn right onto North Via Entrada.
We're gonna see what this is about. I think that's a big deal.
He's traveling the route that the person that Tommaso and or Annie would have driven from Nancy's house to Annie's house. So from the missing lady to the daughter's house. And now that's where they still are, and they're doing a live, active, ongoing investigation right now, canvassing the area. But
we took all our trash and everything.
Yeah,
we protect the environment. No trash.
He said
he seems to believe that there's more footage that could be released.
Well, why are they? Yeah.
And he did take him out the front door. Take her out the front door.
took her out the front door.
Might be footage of her actually being taken out.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it for a second. So this guy in the car with JLR investigates, and this is great. I'm so glad they're doing this. They're on the scene, and they said there's another reporter on the scene from an independent, from another media source, maybe traditional, maybe independent, he didn't say, who seems to believe that there's going to be more footage coming out of the Ring doorbell or the Nest doorbell camera, that they do have more footage they're going to be putting out. This is the drive from Nancy, the missing mother's house to Annie's house, and they are out there right now canvassing the neighborhood. The cops, the feds, these are just reporters reporting on it.
7 minutes out, folks.
7-minute drive. Again,
Get up one here like a main road coming up.
I do have this sped up a lot. I have it sped up, so they're not driving this fast, really.
Windshield's getting hot. So you're just gonna hear sound here.
It looks beautiful out there. My whole entire life is covered in a 3-foot tall sheet of ice. Put a 4 in the chat if you're around New Jersey and you've been living in the ice tundra. It's like solid ice on the ground, like feet of it, like 2 feet of solid ice. It's insane. It's like a skating rink in my
6
yard.
minutes.
6 minutes. It looks like they're flying. It looks like they're going so fast. It's just because I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be done in the 7 more minutes that we have left before my next video comes out on my other channel. So this is the main road. It's so cool to see it in
6
real
minutes.
in real light, in this perspective. This is the actual path, the actual route. Look how beautiful. Golly, that is gorgeous. What a beautiful landscape. I didn't grow up around mountains, so I'm so mesmerized by mountains. They're not actually going this fast. I wouldn't be playing it this fast because it kind of gives me a little motion sickness, but I just wanted to show y'all the route before I get off of the live stream. I might end up having to come back on another live stream. It's already close to my bedtime, but things are just happening.
People are colorizing the images. I'll have to show you when we stop.
People are colorizing the images, he said. This is a few hours ago. This is cool. I kind of I don't know, this kind of seems kind of fun. 4 minutes.
1.7 miles.
They are flying. It just looks like it because I have the video sped up. Don't nobody get them in trouble. I have it sped up. Beautiful day. I don't know what the weather is over there. It probably gets pretty
We're
chilly
on
at
the way to
night.
Annie's. Their police are there, according to Fox News.
On the way to Annie's, the
So they had a
police are
journalist
there.
that's planted out there, and it is the Fox. The Fox has a guy that's been sitting out there days.
They get the on the
They got
ground
people all over.
walkie-talkie reporting.
We're on a mission, folks.
We're on a mission. Shout out to JLR. Y'all need to
Getting
go
up to the main
subscribe.
road,
Oracle Road.
We will be making a left up here on historic US 80 in Oracle. Make a left, and then we make a right at the Circle K. But I can tell you right up here, this is crazy because right up here, this was the quickest route. And
You're
I
going to
went
see
here
the Chevron.
the Chevron station, and they told me authorities were in there asking about surveillance. They
Y'all
didn't tell
heard
me whether
that?
They obtained any. But
The
Chevron station
authorities
at the
went
left
to
here,
this Chevron.
100% fact that authorities were there.
He
That's
went
not
and
being
asked.
reported by mainstream media, but it's right here to the left. So
It's not being reported by mainstream media, he said, but I went and
law
asked.
enforcement had-
Shout out
people
to
are saying
him.
it's a couple of doors down from Annie.
Look at that big mountain.
We'll see what's happening, folks. I'm on my way. Almost there.
I'm on my way. The light is red.
It's got to come out in after seeing that photo. That video.
We'll be there in 3 minutes as soon as this light changes.
Can't you just feel the ADD? Can't you just feel the he's just oh, can this light be green?
Remember, what's his name yesterday? Criminal network gave authorities and said I was right by the home of Tommaso and there was some sand. Remember he gave the tip?
I don't remember.
Yesterday.
I don't know what he's talking
To
about.
authorities. So that might have something to do with it, or they just suspect something, or what? What are they doing?
I don't know. They're
If that's true.
canvassing. They're probably going around and
Coming up here at the Circle
asking.
K, which is another spot authorities.
Remember the
check about
Circle K?
surveillance.
We talked about 2 gas stations. Chevron, you just saw. You're about to see Circle K.
Circle K coming up. We're making a right.
The Circle K. And like, it's so cool or weird because it's both on the path, the
We're there in
route
about a minute.
between Annie's and Nancy's houses.
Straight onto Western Arrow Street.
You're going to see this little back road ass Circle K.
Where I'm at. We walked this the other morning. We walked from Tommaso and Annie's house to the Circle K. We walked down the strip.
They
Down
walked
this
it.
little ditch here, gully,
That's work.
and then we're going to make a left right up here.
This is the full drive. Uncut. I mean, I did speed it up, but look, the mailman just doing his job.
And it's around this corner.
Where's the
Top
Circle
of
K? He walked this? Oh my God.
Let's see what we got.
I'm scared a Rougarou's going to jump
Right
out.
here.
It looked like
Right here.
Rougarou territory or the Tatai.
Looks like reporters are here.
Where's the Circle K? I must have missed it.
They're all going across the street or something. All right. And we're off. We're
All
off.
right, I missed the Circle K.
Grab my,
But there it is. That was the
Can you
full
grab that
drive.
tripod? Yeah. Thank you.
That was the full drive from JLR Investigates. And yeah, so that's what he's been doing all day. He did not order that pizza. He did not order any food. He didn't order that food. He didn't ask for that food. He actually, I was on his live. I heard, I wasn't on it like with him or anything, but like I was watching it just like as an audience member. And I actually heard him say, I don't need any more food. I don't need any more snacks. I don't need anything. Thank you so much, everyone who's been wanting to send me stuff. I don't need that. I don't want that. I'm so full. I've eaten so much. Oh my God, cookies. No, please stop sending stuff. He was saying, stop. He was saying, stop sending me stuff. So if anything, he told him to stop. And now you have this bitchy ass, panties in a wad ass, podunk ass, punk ass, supposed so-called sheriff, Barney goddamn Fife, bitching that somebody who's actually out here doing work for the people could possibly have the nerve and audacity to need something to eat. And he didn't even order it. He didn't even order it. It's aggravating. Are they getting camera footage from all neighbors too? It does seem like they are asking. They're asking, do you have any cameras? Do you have any surveillance cameras? Do you have any security cameras from these nights? They're asking if they can go around back and look in their yards in the back. And part of me wonders, you know, earlier today when I did my live, we talked about the Tucson fallout shelters. And apparently there's a lot of, this is news. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is real news. And I did talk about it on my live earlier today, February 10th. If you want to go and look, we pulled up the article, but there's a lot of like kind of like bunker, underground, fallout, shelter type things in specifically the Catalina Hills neighborhood where Nancy is from or where she lives. Now she's missing, and I am hopeful and, you know, prayerful that she will be found alive. Maybe she's hiding out in a bunker. Maybe she's just living her best life and has no idea any of this is going on. Money went into the Bitcoin account. I don't think so. I don't think money went into the Bitcoin account. No. Last I checked, no money went into that Bitcoin account the last time it was reported on by Harvey Levin. Now there was a $6 million Bitcoin transaction or transfer, but it wasn't into that account. And the news has reported that no payment was made. So maybe that was just a coincidence. Let's see if there's any more updates from a New York Times. Nope. Okay, let's see if SF Investigates has anything else that he's put up. No, this is one of the most alarming things of the whole thing for me. This right here. This right here is one of the most alarming things. Well, that's all I really had for this one. And even if it wasn't, shout out to Mama J becoming a new member. Even if it weren't, we do have to head on over to my other channel right now because I have to expose the organ trafficking. I have to expose the organ trafficking of the world. Okay, we're going to do that in my next video. Come over there. You'll be redirected automatically. And that's all I really had for this one. Meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.